Hey there guys, welcome to my film genre tag video. Basically what the film genre tag video is, it's basically a tag video which you go through loads of genres and you specifically pick a film that suits that type of genre. So something like action, I would say Mad Max Fury Road. For romance, I would go for Titanic, that kind of things. I will put the genres down below in the comments section, so I really recommend you should give it a go. I'll tag all of you, my viewers, to giving it a go. So let's get started with the first genre, and that's action and adventure. For these two type of genres, I had to split them into two movies since they're so different to me. For action, I went for Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The reason because it's just such a great 90s film to me. It's got great action, it's well filmed, well acted. I think it's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best performances. I recommend just watching the first Terminator and Terminator 2. Don't bother watching any of the spin-offs or the sequels. Just watch these two. For adventure, I went for Indiana Jones, the first three films. I have no hate for the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I don't think it's on that level. The reason why I put this on the list, it's just like the American version of a James Bond, really. I mean, Harrison Ford plays this role so well. It's like one of his best performances. It has great movie making moments from like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. These films are just so swift and suspenseful, and they just have such a good atmosphere and sense to them. It just makes the perfect entertainment for adventure. For family animation now, I went for Spirited Away. One of the best, perhaps the best Studio Ghibli film. The CGI enhances the animation so well and it's so gorgeous to watch. And it has this great story about self-insured and independency from this little girl. Comedy, I went for Zoolander, probably Ben Stiller's best piece of work he's ever done. It's just such a cult classic. You really dive into the world of modelling and you see how ridiculous it is. And it has just such great movie quotes such as like, "That hand's so hard right now," and "What is this? A center for ants?" I think it's always back in my head. I think it's like one of my favourite comedies of all time. Drama, I went for Forrest Gump. This film just hits me on so many emotions. It has good small doses of CGI. It has good acting from Tom Hanks. That's how he won an Oscar. But also, it just has this great story about this guy from Alabama who also has a disability. And he's able to achieve so much, like ping pong, fishing, being a war hero, running. It just hits you, and it's just so much happens in this 2-hour film. I went for the original Star Wars trilogy. I mean, Star Wars is in my blood. I play the video games, I read the comics, read the books, watch the TV series. But the main reason why I put it in this type of genre is because you get to explore these great, well-imagined, creative worlds such as Cloud City and Tatooine. It has this great epic story between good versus evil. For musicals, I went for The Little Shop of Horrors. It has great puppeteering from Frank Oz, who's done The Muppets. Most of the music has a good charm and has a good sense to it. Steve Martin, who had this hilarious supporting role, should have been nominated for an Oscar. It was hilarious. He played this like dentist / girlfriend beater. And there's this one song near the beginning, it's called Downtown. It's such a really depressing song about low lives and you end up in the dirt. It reminds me so much of Croydon. Romance, this was a difficult one, but I went for Love Actually. I mean, it has this great Christmas vibe to it since it's a Christmas film, and I watch it every Christmas, of course. But what I like about it, it's not just one love story. It has like 9 and they blend together so well at the end. And the other reason is because I think it has just such a great British cast, such as Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson, Liam Neeson, Colin Firth, and I just love this cast so much. For mystery / crime, I had to split this into two videos again. Mystery, I went for an Alfred Hitchcock classic, Vertigo, starring James Stewart, and just such a great collaboration of talent. The reason why I put this is it goes through extreme levels of love and how men want women to be in their own imagination. And for crime, I went for one of my favourite films, Goodfellas. It just has this great raw editing, like there's never a dull moment and every scene is so entertaining. It has this great collaboration of Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro and the director Martin Scorsese. Every scene in this film is so iconic, we can talk about this for hours. Science fiction, I went for a Christopher Nolan film, Inception. Visually it's just gorgeous to watch, but the main reason, I love it how it plays with the audience at the end and during the film. Are they in the dream? Are they still in the dream? What stage of the dream are they in? But I remember this film came out back in 2010 and I remember watching the first 10 minutes and I was like, I don't get it, I want to go home. But I remember a big film at the time and you see all the adverts and stuff saying people went to see it 3 times because they couldn't understand it. And it was so stupid because I can really, even though it takes a while to get it, but you pay good intention, you can understand it. Everybody, I mean, loads of people I know went to see it a first time, and even my nan went to see it first time, and she understand it completely. Thriller, I went for an Alfred Hitchcock film, Rope, one of my favourite films starring James Stewart. It's all done in one shot. Well, it's supposed to be, back then film only lasted on for 10 minutes, but you get to see, it feels like it's done in one shot. But the main reason because it's about these two classmates and they kill one of their friends just for the thrill of it. And then they have to host a dinner party like 10 minutes later with the body hidden. But it's the perfect crime. No witnesses, no proof, no evidence. And they just want a kind of excitement to them. And that's when James Stewart's character comes in. He knows, he's smart enough to know what's going on. For teen/high school now, I went for The Breakfast Club. This film is so wise in its simplicity. It's about these 5 students, the jockey, the basket case, the princess, the nerd, and the troublemaker all have to spend a Saturday detention together. And this film has a great message about don't judge a book by its cover, and it's all about these 5 kids who become strangers, then enemies, then to allies. This film is such a great high school film. This is something I wish that happened to me when I was at school. Chick flicks, I went for Bridesmaid. This film is just so funny. It has a great funny cast, and it made me fall in love with Kristen Wiig, which she's one of my favourite actresses, and it made me fall in love with Paul Feig and his work. For superhero, I went for Avengers. I mean, what can I say about this film? Is it because it's the 5th highest grossing film of all time? It has great action at the 3rd act. It has great banter and dialogue from Joss Whedon's writing. I think the main reason because it just has this great atmosphere of superheroes, and we thought we would never see the day when 5 films lead into one big event in movie history. For martial arts, I went for Bloodsport. It just has such a great 80s vibe to it, and there's Jean-Claude Van Damme, who I wish to meet one day. What I like about it, they really nailed the fight scenes in this film, and I like it how each fighter has their own kind of fighting style since they're from a different continent in the world. But I really love Bloodsport. I really recommend it. For horror, I went for the 1979 classic Halloween. Growing up, I was never really into horror films because they never really surprised me, and I was never really going out celebrating Halloween because it was always an American thing. I'm from the UK, we don't do that stuff here, but all the new generation of kids do it now these days, so I think the parents are just encouraging them. But I remember 2 years ago, a small group of us did a Halloween kind of special to each theatre. I remember we went to see Halloween, this film, and I loved it. I really enjoyed the suspense, the thrill of it. It's about this story about this patient called Michael Myers, and he just kills on random people on Halloween for some reason, but I just adore this. And also we went to see The Exorcist on midnight screen, but Halloween really got me into more horror films now. Really made me respect the kind of genre of horror, and I like sometimes celebrating Halloween, but it really got me into like films like The Babadook, The Blair Witch Project, and Nights Out. For war and historical, this is the one I kind of struggle with, but I went with Schindler's List at the end. Schindler's List is set in World War II. It's about this guy who's in charge of Jew workers, and he's really nice, he's really friendly to them, and he always put them first before his main work. And at the end, it's quite emotional. It goes really into deep with this, and you get to see this kind of scene at the end of the credits when they all have to attend to his funeral. Films like that really hit me on that kind of level. Last but not least, foreign. I went for Old Boy. It's just such a messed up masterpiece of a film. It goes through twists and turns, and at the end, near the end, you go through this dark twist, and it was like, oh shit, man. They did a remake. It's horrible. Don't watch it. But this is one of my favourite films of all time. It's also one of my favourite comic book films. It's about the story about how revenge takes a toll on us. And it goes through these deep emotional aspects about this father who's trying to look for a daughter. At the end, he does find her daughter, but there's a little twist. I can't really spoil it, but go check out Old Boy. If you want to give this film genre tag a go, I'll put a list down below, and I'll tag all you guys for doing it. When you have done, put a link down below so I can watch it and maybe give you a comment or a like or a subscribe to your channel. Go like, comment, subscribe. Go check out my Facebook and Twitter page. I'll see you guys soon. You guys are awesome. I've got your back.